Good morning and afternoon, depending on where in the world you are. You are watching the Impact Money Show on the Smart Money Culture TV network. Thanks for joining us on your TVs in Texas and Louisiana, as well as we stream around the world on X, LinkedIn, YouTube, and all of the rest. It is always a pleasure to do the show. We like it a lot. Of course, the great Matt Dixon will join me shortly. Big day yesterday, big few days. Of course, some of the big news coming out. Of course, Elon Musk is now donating $45 million per day. $45 million per day to a Trump super PAC. So that is pretty remarkable. He's gone full MAGA. He has gone full MAGA. I think, obviously, guys, there is, it's very welcome, of course, I think for most people, but there's also a bit of survival there. They're going after him for all types of things. He's a firm free speech believer, and probably he has a better shot with the Republicans. I think that's probably pretty clear. So that's big news, though. Of course, you have the great Elon Musk dropping $45 million per day. And if you're on X like us, of course, TV is great. I love TV. ROI on TV is absolutely amazing. But I do love X. You get immediate talk back and forth. But what Elon has done with X by monetizing it as well has really changed the game for most people. If you have any type of following at all, you can hop on X and talk about what you normally talk about and get paid for it. And it's not a lot of money, but you could. It's there. It's noticeable. It is. It's there. It makes you want to go. Makes you want to be a creator, and it has changed the game. Hats off to him, as well as what he has done for free speech. My video from yesterday that I did, where I talked about the assassination attempt on Donald Trump, and I showed the videos. I was working on a government computer yesterday, and X was completely blocked. And so I thought, well, let me just cruise over and take a look at YouTube. And we broadcast on Crypto Cake YouTube. And I didn't get any notices or anything like that. But the video from yesterday's show was not there. And so I did some searches again, and I looked, and I found the email where it says it's live. And so I clicked into it, and it says it was that particular broadcast was blocked. So that just gives you an idea of the amount of censorship that's going on these other platforms, because I had to, all I was showing, of course, was real videos that were put out, and we were discussing them. And that's what I did. I showed the interviews and I showed the videos, but that apparently was too much for YouTube, and they just blocked the show. They didn't tell me anything. I had no message about it. Probably that particular show is blocked in other countries as well. And so the only way that you can really get real news, is on X. And I think that is, I know, very remarkable. It's a pretty remarkable situation to be in. And I thought it was pretty interesting. I thought it was interesting that they had the video completely blocked, and they didn't tell me anything about it. Like sometimes they'll send you a message and say, hey, you played music in the background. I used to play. Sometimes I like dancing around when the market's pumping and stuff like that. But they sent me some notices. You can't do that. Can't play that music. And whatever. After getting a couple of them, you don't want to mess anything up. Say, all right, fine, I won't play that music anymore. So I've become domesticated, as I tell my wife. Become domesticated. I now roll up the hose after watering my garden, which I have a pretty good garden and a bunch of fruit plants and stuff like that fruit trees and bushes that I keep around. And I even do the dishes sometimes, or at least do stuff. Domesticated. I get domesticated in my older age. It happens. Happens to the best of us. Anyway, we have so that's pretty interesting. Big news out, of course, Vance. Vance is the guy. It's Trump Vance. Trump Vance 2024. That's the ticket. Whether you like it or not, you should probably get behind those two, because that's it. And I know Vance has said a bunch of stuff in the past that you didn't like. Well, I'll tell you what, I have too. Okay, and I think most of us have. The guy, he's a young guy. He's, I think, 39 or something like that. I think he'll be 40 by the time that they get in, if they get in office, which I think they, who knows, probably will. He has a Hindu wife, and that's the guy, and that's it. So I'll put it to you this way. I don't think there's any ticket in the history of our lives that the vice president has made you be like, oh, I want to vote for that person. So I wasn't expecting anything more than that. He seems like a great guy. I don't know him personally, obviously. I would, and that's the guy. So Trump is our guy. That's who we picked. We put our firepower behind JD Vance, and we push forward. It will be remarkable. I don't know when the last time somebody that young has run or been on a ticket like that. Barack Obama was 43 when he ran. He was 44 when he got into office. That was the top of the ticket. He was, whether you liked him or not, kind of a movie star type of candidate. I was in Europe when he ran. I didn't vote. It would have been, I would have had to get an absentee ballot. I was in Europe I was just hanging out, doing my thing. I remember him getting elected, and I thought, okay, well, we're going to have the first black president. That's cool. Of course, later on, I said, okay, there might be a little more to this guy than I initially thought. But I was much younger and just running around doing my thing. So, but that's remarkable. He's what is he? He's about half the age of President Trump. He is also, from what I understand, younger than his sons, or at least right around, I think he's younger than his sons, but I don't know that. Right around the same age, I would say, if not younger. So that, obviously, he does things for reasons, and he had his reasons. Everybody's getting behind him. I think of the choices that were out there in the finalist, he seems like a fine man. And so, like I said, we're going to get behind him. It's JD Vance is the vice president. We got Trump Vance, and that is who we are. That's who we're pushing forward. Trump, of course, came. He showed up at the RNC. I looked. I know everybody was waiting for him. I think people were waiting for him to speak. I did not. I went to sleep. Of course, I wake up quite early these days, and I went to sleep, so I didn't see that. But at scanning this morning, I didn't see any speeches. Otherwise, I would play them. He did show up. He walked through like the. I mean, really not much other you can say than the guy is a total. I mean, he's like a pretty bad dude at this point, right? I mean, here he is. I'll play him walking in. I mean, this is really, I mean, you got to say he's a tough guy. He's a tough guy. He got shot. I know it hit his ear, but he got shot. And here he is walking in 2 days later at the RNC. I said, President Donald Trump walks into the Republican National Convention with bandaging on his side of his head after getting shot in the ear 2 days ago. He's gone through heck these last 8 years. This guy is the real life Teflon Don. Let's do this. And here he is walking in.
Welcome the next president of the
United
you know
what I got to do here? I have to, because remember I told you I'll get in trouble. So I got to mute it. That's for YouTube. Whatever. I think as long as you're talking over the music or doing something with it, you're fine. But that's how they roll. So I don't get a ding. But you see him there walking in. They're playing in the background. proud to be an American. Of course, Trump is, they call him the Teflon Don. He is the real Teflon Don, right? Trump. He's 78 years old, so just about, J.D. Vance is just about half his age. It does remove some of that age factor out of the conversation. There's no doubt about that. Also, her being a Hindu, he talks about reaching across the aisle and everything else. Unifying and everything else. The U.S. is very much interracial and it's a diverse country. We have people from all over the world. So I'm sure there were a lot of things that went into that. He does appear, by all appearances, well, there's no doubt about it, the guy is, he's ready to fight. There's, 78 years old or not, I'll tell you what, at 78, I hope I'm running around, doing what he's doing. All right, so let's we'll dive into some of that some more. But let's talk about the markets. I have with me here the great Matt Dixon. Sir Matt, how are you?
Hey, good morning. Very good, thank you. Yeah, it's been turbulent times on the markets. There's a massive, it was all attributed to this Trump so-called failed assassination attempt, wasn't it? And we got a massive pump in the crypto markets. Yeah. Bitcoin in particular, led by Bitcoin. Yeah. So that's just having a little bit of rest this morning, but I think we've set the base in place, and I think we're probably set for a good run ahead. So, well, yeah,
right. We blew through the resistance, and so once you blow through those resistance levels, then they're gone, and those many times will become then the support. But that was kind of the needed upward thrust, whether it was whatever kind of was behind it. I do think that there was some optimism buying into the markets last night, as I was watching. People thinking that Trump's getting in, Bitcoin's going to the moon.
Yeah, I've shared my screen. I trust you can see it.
Let me. Here we go. Yes.
Yeah, cool. Looking at Ethereum.
Yep.
So Ethereum was the one yesterday that I was just saying there's a little bit of slight concern because we had, and actually the price extended from this little red candle here. We got a small pullback, then another push up, but we still had what's called hidden bearish divergence here. Yes. Where basically we're seeing higher lows on the price and higher highs on the RSI. So that's hidden bearish. That's telling us of a bit of a pullback to come. That's precisely what happened. It also quite nicely pulled back to what is a typical Elliott wave rule. Well, not a rule, but a guideline where the pullback is normally to the, a wave 4 pullback is to the wave 4 of a lesser degree. So this was a very small degree wave 4, and then we got a bigger wave 4 pullback to that level there, which was absolutely quite precise. And we started pushing up again. So a lot of this is obviously when you get a big push up like yesterday. Some tokens really pushed up strongly yesterday. You're going to get a bit of profit taking, and especially as it's based on this kind of news, which wasn't, as I say, from the financial market perspective, maybe it wasn't news, although maybe the financial markets particularly the crypto markets, want to see Trump in power because he's shown himself so far to be very pro-crypto. So maybe that's why, but I don't know why the markets should pump. I don't know. But anyway, that's what happened. We were expecting that the markets had, if I just move over to Bitcoin, we were expecting that we'd already seen a low in the markets, and we said this over and over again, this long held parallel channel, which held for over a year. We bounced off that level. And there's a number of different scenarios here for the wave count. It could be a leading diagonal wave 1 to here, small pullback wave 2, and then pushing up on wave 3. Or it could be what's called nesting, where you have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and carrying on there. But they're actually, in general, they're bullish looking wave counts. And this does appear to have been support. And we've had this upward arrow here on the support line of this parallel channel for some time now. And it bounced, just tested it a couple of times, but it bounced really nicely. So that's giving good encouragement for this market. And as I say, just going back to Ethereum, again, that we were overbought on RSI, quite substantially overbought on RSI there. We've got a little bit of a pullback, which is good because although RSI can go more overbought and can stay overbought for some time, it's a bit like the fear and greed index. When you're very much into the greed area that you're normally seeing RSI extended at that stage, you need to have a bit of a pullback, just a bit of a breather for the market before it takes its next push higher. And hopefully that's what's happening now, that we had a bit of a breather last night, overnight, and we're pushing up higher again. So that's looking promising, and we can see, and again, when you look longer terms, this is the 4-hour chart. If I were to go into the daily chart, you can see that we are not overbought on RSI, just having a little bit of a pullback, but there's plenty of room for more upside there on RSI, and there's no divergence in place. There's no divergence in place on the daily. So that was just telling us that short term on the 4-hour, we expected a bit of a pullback, which is what we got. But daily, there's no divergence in place. So it's just a short-lived pullback. And actually, this is a really promising look at the moment. This red candle that started today, if it turns into a green candle, that will be very, very positive and very indicative of the beginning of a good move higher. So that would tell us with Ethereum, potentially, as I said, this was wave 3, A, B, C, wave 4. Wave 4 may have terminated slightly earlier, but it's actually perfectly reasonable. It did go beyond the start of wave A. It's a really nice look, actually, for correction. So I do think that we're going to push higher reasonably soon on Ethereum and other assets, and Ethereum to possibly to the previous all-time high. I mean, if this is wave 3, this is wave 4, we've got a wave 5 to the upside, which should take us well beyond the top of this wave 3, and the previous all-time high was obviously not that much higher, actually. Got it there at 4,800. So yeah, it's quite a bit higher in percentage terms, but crypto can do that, and especially with the good news as we run up towards the actual launch of an Ethereum ETF, that could give us the impetus that we need to push us higher. And nicely interesting here, we see the wave 4 didn't touch into the territory of this wave 1, and that's precisely the way it's supposed to be. So you know, that abides by the rules perfectly. So that's really promising. And again, we looked yesterday at Litecoin. I'll probably go back to the 4-hour on Litecoin because we had a very promising signal here. I was telling you that this wave A down was actually a resistance level that we needed to break to the upside to be comfortable that we have higher to go, and this bottom is probably in place. That's precisely what happened. We went above it, and as I've said so many times, and you'll remember I've said this, that when you break a resistance level like this, an overhead resistance, what normally happens is you break through, then you retest the resistance before it then pushes again to the upside. So that is absolutely textbook. That's what happened, as you can see. We broke through, quite convincingly broke through, then we retested, and then we're pushing again towards the upside. So I am hoping that now, what was overhead resistance, now becomes underlying support. So we basically retested, just probed it slightly, and pushing higher. So if we can push higher above this previous high, then that's looking really good for this now turning into support. So it's a good area for risk reward in your trades. So when you break an overhead resistance like this, retest it and push higher, I would still hope to see a little bit higher, but basically your risk is to the downside, probably just below this area here, this consolidation area here. That's your risk, but the upside potential, as we said, is tremendous. When you look at Ethereum from potentially 3.4 at the moment to possibly 4.6 or 4.8, you're talking almost 50%, and those are the figures that we bandied around just a couple of days ago on the Impact Money Show, saying that the potential for the market is looking around the 50% mark, whichever asset you look at of these main assets I'm talking about. So we mentioned that for Bitcoin, that the next major resistance overhead, we were looking at somewhere around 84, and at the time we're in the upper 50s on Bitcoin. So once again, we were looking at somewhere around 50% upside. So I think that the market has the potential for around 50% upside. A lot of people were saying they're getting a bit negative because we got a bit of a stall on XRP. But again, the fact that we, from an Elliott wave perspective, we actually bottomed out quite nicely there with an ABC to finish this Y wave. It finished on a Fibonacci level there. I think that's the 0.382. 1.382 extension of the A wave. That was it. So it was perfect. And we pushed up nicely in 5 waves so far. So maybe we'll get a little bit of a correction because that's 5 waves higher so far. We can see from the bottom there, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we may get a bit of a pullback, but then that's actually setting the foundation for another solid move ahead. We've seen a really positive move just jumping around here on gold, pushing towards that previous all-time high. And we have said that whilst there may be more consolidation ahead, we don't know, but we were expecting certainly new all-time highs to come for gold. So that would tell you, don't get short this metal, this precious metal. And if you've got a lot of positions, hold on to them. And at all these consolidation areas, these pullback areas, it's opportunity to buy the lows with the reasonable confidence that we're going to head to new all-time highs. And this is just an immediate target. We could well blast straight through there. It wouldn't surprise me at all. So all of these were opportunities, as we said, always buy dips when you can see that there's a real confidence of new all-time highs to come. It makes sense to buy the dips. You don't know where the exact bottom was. And so you can buy dips at various places to dollar cost average, build up your position size, and that's the way forward. So yeah, looking really bullish there on gold. Oil, it's probably quite good. We're not seeing oil going through the roof because it's a major expense for business. We did see hidden bullish divergence. I'm not sure which time frame I was looking at here, whether it's probably on the daily. I'll just check on the daily. Okay. Yeah, none in particular. I don't see any divergence there on the daily, so I'm not sure what time frame we were looking at, but there was at some point hidden bullish divergence, which signaled the turning point. Actually, I can see it now perfectly. It's just the line isn't there. So looking at the lows here from here down to here, so we can see that the RSI troughs were declining and the price troughs were appreciating. Hidden bullish divergence. Again, really nice indicator. Just told you that the market was going to pump, and that's precisely what happened. So at the moment, it's looking reasonably corrective to the downside. So I'm expecting probably we'll see more highs to come, local highs on oil. And that would correspond with gold because, as I'm always saying, there's a reasonable correlation between oil and gold. So that's quite promising. We're seeing the SPX, the S&P 500. Once again, we had new all-time highs there. And we're just playing around at all-time high again. So, and interestingly, again, this was regular bearish divergence we saw here, and you can see right on cue we got a pullback, quite a decent pullback there. And then once that was once we got RSI back into central area, sort of neutral area, then the price started to pump again back to new all-time highs. So when you see these RSI figures get to extended areas, then you know that sooner or later a pullback is coming. So we can see it, for example, even if it's a small pullback, you get some kind of pullback once you get extended on RSI, as we did here. You got a pullback, and here we got, even if they're minor pullbacks, as we saw from here, we can see the pullback on RSI and the pullback on price. Again, we saw extended RSI, pullback here, here on RSI, and pullback in price. Right now, we're not extended, so there's room for upward movement potentially on RSI and on price. So, as I say, never try to catch a falling knife or the reverse of that, a rising market. Don't bet against a rising market. Don't bet against the trend. Things are looking bullish all around just at the moment. We'll look at DXY. DXY has actually recovered just a little bit. We did bounce off of that support. Short term, you can't really take DXY. They don't move in complete inverse correlation. So short term, the correlation often breaks down. It's only longer term, when you look at longer term charts, that you see the importance of the inverse correlation between DXY. So we saw a bit of a strengthening of the dollar there. Not a great deal, to be fair, very minor actually, but we could well break this support. If we break this support, then that will be more of a longer term move down from up here on dollar, and that would be very supportive of risk assets, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, XRP, S&P 500, etc., etc. So that would be really, really supportive. I'm seeing here, I need to get rid of this.
I don't know what that means. If you look.
Yeah, I'll have to teach Siri what that means. But yeah, so I don't know why Siri keeps jumping in. But anyway, Toncoin is getting a nice rebound.
It is, right?
Yeah, we had a tremendous move yesterday on Jasmy. That moved up really, really well. I think we got something like a 12 or 13% move. One I don't normally follow or cover, but I did mention it on X some time ago. RLB is a really interesting one, which had some positive news come out yesterday and gave a pump. I think it's about 15% pump yesterday, but I actually came out in advance on my X at MD Trade a couple of days ago, probably 3-4 days ago. I said, this is one to watch. It's going to pump soon. It's within a channel. Yeah, it's a falling channel at the moment. We could actually break that falling channel and actually start an upward trend. But even within the falling channel, there's plenty of upside to come. And this was the target level here at over 10 cents. At the time of speaking, I was talking it was 6 cents, somewhere around there. We're about 8 cents today. So we've seen a 30% rise already and a lot more potential to come there. So that's been a really, really good one to watch. We mentioned Doge yesterday, and yeah, it had a pullback. This was the area that we mentioned. I got this red line in. I mentioned that this was a sort of buy area that we should consider DCAing. Anywhere around here or below is a time to probably add to Doge. And if you had followed that, and we had this line in, by the way, probably 2 months ago, I showed it on the Impact Money show. This was an area to be buying anywhere below there, do a bit of DCAing. We had 2 or 3 opportunities there to DCA into Doge, and look at it now, taking off yet again. So if you bought in at around below 10.7, anywhere below 10.7 here, you'd already be, close to 20% in profit today, even more last night. So the potential there is really good, because once again, it's looking like some kind of ABC to the downside. So once again, we'd expect it to push up to above 22 cents. So whilst we're seeing maybe 50% upside on the big boys like Bitcoin, Ethereum, you could potentially be seeing almost 100% upside, 80 to 100% upside here as a minimum for Doge. So I think there's plenty of potential there. These are the ones which are higher risk, but obviously potentially higher reward as well. So they're ones to keep an eye on. So the market's just getting a bit of a pullback on my screens today, but that's to be expected, as I say, after the run that we've had. And even Ondo, which we mentioned the other day, has been doing really well. Did really well yesterday. Again, just a bit of a pullback today, but looking positive there. And actually, again, we had that bit of a pullback. And if I looked at RSI, we pulled back from slightly overbought territory, pulled back again. So that's now giving us the room and the foundation to push potentially higher. So I'm quite bullish on Ondo and on most of the tokens here, actually. I mean, they're highly correlated, but yeah, most of these tokens I'm very bullish about. So
yeah, I mean, it's looking pretty primed. And of course, you have everybody's now expecting rate cuts.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is we've had these rumors about Mt. Gox and, some sales there. I mean, I had it. I'll just show you very briefly on my X feed. I posted something.
It's like the boogeyman. Every time they want to push the market down a little bit, they move some coins over to an internal wallet, even.
Yeah. So I said here that Mt. Gox, don't know why it's not. They hold 138,000, 139,000 Bitcoin. So that's $8.8 billion worth. And they just moved 44,000. So that's about a third of the holding. They've moved 44,000 or 2.84 billion to an internal wallet. So this is hanging over the market, but it doesn't mean that everybody's going to sell. And I think people have been pricing in this negativity, but just bear in mind, this is just a short-term sell pressure. Yes, it is sell pressure. It's significant sell pressure potentially, but it's short-term. And the long-term outlook for Bitcoin is that there is good, solid underlying demand for the long term. This is just a potential short-term sell pressure. So I don't take it too seriously, although it may have an impact. But actually, I think a lot of people who get their Bitcoin, yeah, they'll probably take a bit of profit, but a lot of people will be holding on to them. So it's only potential sell pressure. It doesn't mean they'll actually be, everybody will be running for the exits at all. I don't believe that, especially in a rising market. People want, obviously, they want to make the most out of their Bitcoin and what they're holding. And the long term, you know, as I say, even from here, 64,000, we're looking at 84,000 really as the next major overhead resistance. Obviously, the next resistance, I guess, would be the previous all-time high, which I think was around the 73,000, wasn't it? If we looked at Bitcoin, the previous all-time high was around that 73,000 mark. So that would be the next overhead resistance. But beyond that would be the top of this channel, which, you know, we're talking anywhere around 84,000 would be the sort of minimum we'd expect. And then possibly way beyond that. So all in all, very, very bullish outlook. Keeping it reasonably short today. It's been a good day. Yeah, so if there's anything else you'd like me to look at, but other than that, I think that's a good summary. And probably if we just finally take a look at Solana, once again, we had this overhead resistance, which was broken yesterday. We retested it, we've broken back above it. So again, that's very, very typical. Once you break above a resistance level, you retest it, then hopefully you then get upside. So even Solana is one of the best tokens out there, in my opinion. One with one of the greatest potential, and they've still got major upgrades to come through. We had that. Remember, Eric gave us a bit of a talk about Solana and the potential for Solana and the upgrades coming through. I understand the next major upgrade is coming September. So it is the chain of choice, the retail chain of choice. So actually, I think there's loads of potential here, and I think we'll easily test that 210, possibly the previous all-time high of 260. So there's lots of potential upside there on Solana. It really is a good one to. You had opportunities again down here, these troughs here, to basically build up to DCA, to build your positions. And then as we've broken above that, here's another opportunity to potentially build position with good risk reward, because again, we broke above, we retested. So there's good risk reward around this sort of area to potentially just add a little bit more, because you don't want to add all at one place at all. But if you've got some profits locked in from here, you can actually just add a bit more around here with a stop loss just below that spike low there. Small downside and potential upside from 156 right now today to potentially, as I say, minimum 210. So you're talking minimum 30%, 40% or whatever, 30% or something. Yeah, 30, 40% upside. Yeah.
Yep.
So I think there's loads of potential.
I would have to agree with you. And with the ticket that we have, of course, with Vance and Trump, I mean, you know, who knows? I mean, everybody thinks over here, as long as, of course, they can stay alive, that it's you know, they'll win. And then I think that it will be, the economy will probably, optimism fuels markets. And so people are optimistic. They're optimistic that the markets will go up. Yeah.
And the markets like to have certainty. They hate uncertainty when they don't know what's coming. So they like a bit of clarity. And I think we are beginning to see some clarity. Whatever you think of the candidates there, whatever anybody thinks, the markets do like to have some certainty. So I think we're beginning to see that crystallize now. And that should be positive for the rest of the year, probably until election time. As I say, next year's another thing. We may well see something very different. come next year. But
We may well see something very different. That's absolutely correct. I still worry about the real estate market, the housing market, the commercial market as well. And, you know, these banks have been failing over in no one's really talking about it hardly, but these banks are failing in China. Like, I mean, I don't
yeah,
know.
it's not surprising with these high interest rates. You know, they've actually, you know, banks and institutions basically that held bonds, government bonds, and interest rates have gone up and up and up, and they're effectively holding on to losses right now because the price of those bonds has gone down, and they're not coming to maturity for some time. So they're just hanging on to losses right now. And, you know, if any of those banks were to see a run on their deposits, then they're going to be in trouble. And that's why banks have been going under. So the Fed will need to, you know, I know you're talking about China as well and rest of the world, but the Fed in particular will need to start looking more seriously about interest rate cuts because the economy is beginning to suffer and to slow a little bit. And if we do see an interest rate cut, or, you know, especially, you know, they're talking about potentially September now, if we were to see that, or even news of that, you know, because again, buy the rumor, sell the news. That's going to be really positive for the markets. I'm expecting, I don't know what's going to pump it. As we said so many times in the past, the charts tell you what's coming. They don't tell you the reason for what's going to come.
Exactly.
So,
I agree. It'll be something. It'll be something big. We'll have a big pump. That's what it's telling us anyway.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good. Well, thanks for the news. Thanks for the opportunity to share the financial news, and we'll keep an eye on the markets and look forward to catching up again tomorrow.
Sounds good, Matt. Appreciate it. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Bruce. Thanks, everybody at Impact Money.
Cheers. So now we've gotten through a few of our things. I do have a couple more of these candidates lined up for interviews. So I will try to get there on like the West Coast and stuff. So this 6 a.m. show is a little hard for them. So I'll try to record those for you today and play them moving forward. I have, I think, one in Arizona. I have another one that's actually in Milwaukee, as a matter of fact. So those will be interesting. These are America First candidates that are brought to us by our friends over there at Patriots United. So we do have as well. So Trump is going to be playing, or he's going to be playing. It is like he's playing, actually. He's like a rock star, isn't he? So he's going to be at Bitcoin 2024. I have the thing going on below here. Use code Impact Money, and as well underneath all of our, I think because I went on X as Matt was speaking and posted it under there on all of our different places, you can get Impact Money is the code. So whether you're buying the Vigilante watches, the coin, the coin Vigilante watches, which are wonderful, or you're buying tickets for Bitcoin 2024, or you're buying the Tangem wallet, or whatever you're doing, Impact Money is your code. You get anywhere from 10% or more for using that. Make sure to do it. But Trump in Nashville is really going to be something else. You know, there has who knows if Bitcoin 2024 would have been able to score that if they hadn't done it before the attempted assassination on the former president. It is a remarkable moment in the history of the world. Never mind the history of the United States. In the history of the world, Trump 2024, Trump, Vance, I'm sure Vance, well, maybe Vance won't be there. But I think Scott Presser, I know, is as well speaking there. It is going to be a massive event, a big event. So get your tickets. Nashville is beautiful as well. Music City, USA. Wonderful place. I don't know if you've been before. It's one of those places where I think a lot of people haven't been. I have been lucky enough to, as you guys know, traveled quite extensively in my time. It is one of the ways that I am able to talk to so many people on a level and connect with people. You know, you can't buy experience. And when you have experience, it's obvious, especially to other people with experience. So if you're talking to somebody that's been around the world a couple of times and you have too, that is those are obvious moments. And when you've been around the world a few times, you understand that person also understands other people. And even myself, I was much harder on different people when I was younger, before I traveled around and realized that everybody really wants the same things. Everyone wants the same things, pretty much. We want security, we want prosperity, and we want a place that is safe and prosperous that we can leave for our future generations. And those three things, and that's why we really have to focus on these things. And I think we're going to see more and more of that as Trump and Vance push their deal forward, bringing people together. I'm not supposed to do this. It's always, I think, opening, but anyway, bringing people together. And that's what it's all about. And it's like I said, actually months ago, I said, Trump's going to get in, and he's going to make the left mad, and he's going to make the right mad too. And that's probably what's going to happen. But, as I was just talking about with Matt Dixon, and that was that optimism. And that's what we had with Trump. We had optimism. Optimism was like, it was so high. And the man is optimistic. And that is that markets are emotional. So, that's going to be pretty interesting. So I know I asked Matt yesterday about Polka Gold, but we didn't really get it today. But I want to talk about Polka Gold again, because this thing is set to run. Not financial advice. I get paid to post and all that jazz I'm supposed to say, okay? But this thing is set to run. Polka Gold on the Algorand network. polkagold.tech. Now, one of the main reasons I really want to talk about this right now is because they're launching something on Friday. And in order to participate, you have to have some Polka Gold, because they are literally, did I lose my video here? This is not good. Can you guys see me? Well, hopefully you can see me. I can't see myself. Let me just check here. See if you guys can see me. Hopefully you can see me. You can't see me. I'm not sure here what. You're gone. You can hear me though. Okay. Well, that is half the battle. So what I'm going to do while that works, I am going to talk about Polka Gold over here, because this is quite an interesting asset. And they are, here we go, Polka Gold. And they are doing some interesting things. So, unfortunately, I have lost my video, but I am going to power through here, and hopefully that turns back on. Let me try turning my video on and off. Just bear with me 1 second while I do this. And I am back. I'm back. See, you just need to Control Alt Delete, and there you go. Right, yeah, you're back. Okay, so Polka Gold, the digital reserve commodity. Now, one of the reasons why I want to talk about this one is because, like I said, they are doing. So I'm going to cruise over to their X account here. P Gold Official is their X account. Now, I have been kind of reposting these guys. Okay. So Justin, this is 12 P Gold will include P Gold target, blah, blah, blah. Okay. You can stake this, which is pretty interesting. So July 19th is a lot closer. It says at the current prices, the initial liquidity pool burn is no longer 100,000, but approximately 120,000. initial liquidity at launch. Entire LP will burn. That's liquidity period. Dalgo is coming. Now, Dalgo, if you aren't already following Dalgo, the official channel is Dalgo official. So I'm going to open this in a new tab, and then let's cruise on over to here. So this is Dalgo. So Dalgo is the official. So this is the official account of Dalgo, a froggy meme critter with no minting, no freezing, no clawbacks, and 100% of the supply released. And it's anchored by P Gold. So now, guys, if you're looking at these a lot of these meme tokens and whatnot that are out there, so many of them are like it's they're not anchored by anything. Okay, and one of the reasons why I like Polka Gold, switching back here just for a second to the Polka Gold screen, one of the reasons I like it is because that's when they set this thing up, they locked all the liquidity. And so if you guys are going to buy into something, obviously I want it to go up, but I also want you to have a way out. Okay, if something doesn't go right. And this one is quite interesting. It has gone up about over 20% since I started talking about it on the show. And so that is a testament to everything as well. So they've anchored it with Dalgo, same type of setup. And this is their meme. Let's see here. A froggy meme critter with no minting. So Dalgo is loading, and this is their thing. And so 120,000 is what they have set up in. Let me share this tab instead. So 120,000 is what they have set in liquidity approximately right now. And this is total world domination, it says.
Hey, Stacy, you know I'm more of a Bitcoin kind of guy, but tell me again the aim of Algorand and that new meme coin called Dalgo.
Total world domination. Total world domination. Total world domination.
Dalgo.
Hey, Stacy,
Tech.
you know I'm more of a Bitcoin kind of guy, but
So,
tell me again the aim of Algorand and that new meme coin called.
Well, because they're fun. Dalgo. That's D, not a T. Dalgo. They can do a lot of things, and they're fun. It's fun. It's like the doggy coin. I still call it the doggy coin, even though it's the Doge coin. Everybody knows it's the Doge coin, right? Coming soon. Okay, fine. Anyway, so this is launching on Friday, and you have to have some Polka Gold in order to initially buy into this. Okay, and you can see they're going.
I thought we agreed. I don't need a partner.
They're not your partner, James. We want you to train them.
Train them as what?
A world-class assassin.
An assassin. I can do that.
Yes. Make them a world-class asset. A true meme.
All right, I don't want to play that because again, they'll probably get mad at me. So you always want to be in kind of on the bottom floor on things, right? And here we are. We have Polka Gold. Polka Gold, to give you a little bit more information on it as well. Let me go back over here to their main site. So this was set. It was designed to be a bridge between the Algorand community and the reserve and the Polkadot community. So it's a reserve digital commodity for Polkadot. Okay. Now in their thing, everything's locked, right? All the liquidity is locked. Now, after 5 years, they release a small amount of liquidity to the Polkadot treasury. And Polkadot, of course, at that point, if Polkadot wants to, which they probably won't, but if they wanted to, they could dump it. Okay. Now, with everything locked, that should have no more impact on the market than it should have less than a 10% impact on the market. That being said, these are highly speculative things, right? All these things, but more than likely they'll hold it. We bridge this. We have, and then they've taken this Polkadot community, given them a reserve currency, and of course, gotten a lot of these. Now, this was started from Polkadot and Algorand Wells. Now, the other reason, as you guys know, if you follow me, I am a Polkadot I'm long on Polkadot. I'm long on Algorand too, but I'm long on Polkadot. I'm a big supporter of the Polkadot code and community. And Algorand was started by an Italian guy. Okay, so it's not the usual suspects as well. It was started by an Italian guy, very smart MIT grad, and that is a very, very amazing platform that you can build this stuff on. So, Polka Gold on Algorand. Okay, I just want to I don't want to miss anything, because here's the thing. And in order to get this, what you want to do is go over to their polkagold.tech website. Okay, and here they're talking about their new meme coin here again. The amazing summary video by Nextblock. Let's see what he says. This guy usually is the Nextblock guy. He's usually do all right here. To do YouTube. Let's go on YouTube. He must be
Hey,
compliant.
what's good, y'all?
Here we
This
go.
video is brought to you by the Polka Gold community. I'm talking about the community that has been trending on Algorand lately. The community that has created partnerships with Cometa and Stace Zero. We know these partnerships have brought a lot of trading volume, increased TVL, and much more to the Algorand ecosystem. All right, let's get to it. I'm here to talk to you about a new meme coin, a new brand by the name of Algo. The plan is to replicate the prior successes that the P-Gold community has already done. So the P-Gold community aims to build a meme that can transcend the Algorand barriers and bring in users from Solana, Avalanche, Polkadot, and bring them right back to Algorand. All right, let's talk about it. The P-Gold community has donated a massive amount of P-Gold for the initial liquidity for the launch. It'll be one of the biggest initial liquidity launches and LP burns that have been seen on Algorand so far. Here's a few important details. A huge launch day liquidity meme, top tier on Algorand, so make sure you check these out. Also, there will be no freezing, no clawbacks, no further minting of the Algo token. 100% of the supply will be released to the public on day one. This means you have to buy it from the open market. A fair launch for trading on Tinyman, DeFi, Parawallet, and Vestige. 100% of the P-Gold Algo liquidity will be locked in a smart contract to ensure that liquidity can't be rug pulled or anything of that nature. And that was very similar to what P-Gold did with the P-Gold token. Locked in, fair launch. The Algo token is backed and supported by the P-Gold community, so it can hit the ground running. Algo already comes with a built-in community, a memeable character, and a culture for the token. The community played a pivotal role in this launch, so they have voted on the name, the mascot, and they're working with an agency for the character design and the website design as well. All right, y'all. To close out, the official launch date is Friday, July 19th between 9 a.m. and 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. And again, over 800,000 P-Gold is ready to burn at launch, with the Algo LP making it easily one of the biggest meme launches to date on Algorand. Again, make sure you check it out. Launch date Friday, July 19th between 9 a.m. and 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to get more information, just go visit the P-Gold or the Algo X or Twitter page for more details. All right, see you at the launch. Peace.
All right, check him out. That's my man over here. I don't know if I've met him before. What's this guy's name again here? He is the Next Block. The Next Block. I can put my back up here. The Next Block. I don't know. He didn't tag his Twitter. Anyway, here we go. Great video. The Next Block 3. All right, bro. I'm following you. And who's this guy? Eric. Eric and I are following each other. Eric is one of the guys, I think, behind Algo. So excitingly as well, I think I'm lining up. I tried to line it up before the Algo launch. I tried my best. I put pressure on, but of course you can only put pressure on so much, right? And I tried to line up a kind of a discussion for Polka Gold and Algo before the launch of this, but I think it'll happen afterwards. So next week it'll still be very interesting, and I think Eric is one of the guys that I'll be talking to as well. I think. Anyway, so I am long. I think it's going to be cool. I think it's going to be a fun run. So now, if you are in the Polka Gold community, what I want you to do is go over, and I just changed my thing on the bottom, and I want you to go over and tell the good folks at Tangem Wallet. And of course, you use Impact Money, or if you're under one of my things, you can click on it to order this Tangem wallet. It is a offline wallet. You get your keys, okay? You can access it easily with it has an RFD chip in it, and you access it easily through your phone. Pop it on there, but you do have your own keys on this. Oh, I got it upside down there. So you get these cards things. They are adding as well. They're adding Visa or MasterCard on this. They're doing a lot. I've interviewed these guys a number of times. I should probably do it again live on the air. I interviewed them at the Paris Blockchain most recently, but I also interviewed them at the Lisbon, one of those events over there, which Lisbon is just beautiful, Lisbon, Portugal. But guys, I want you to hop into the Tangem. If you're a Polka Gold holder or Dalgo new person, I want you to go over to tangem.com, and I want you to tell them to add Polka Gold to their wallet, and they'll do it. They'll do it as long as you guys ask for it. And then what I can do is run promos on if you buy your Tangem wallet. Okay, so you can head over there and get your Tangem wallet, and you can hold all kinds of crypto on it. And I'm confident that we'll have Polka Gold on there soon. And then you have a place where you can store your stuff. And I know a lot of people that watch our show, maybe they're not so crypto literate, right? But this wallet is easy to use. It's the Tangem wallet, your wallet, and it's nice. See, it's nice. You can see how it works right there. Easy to set up too. Real easy. Wallet activates in less than 3 minutes. Tangem wallet. Make sure to use Impact Money. You get your 10% discount on that. And what I did, 0 out of 1 million cards hacked since 2017. So what I did was there's a couple of different packages that you can get. And I got the one with the 3 cards. And then what you do with the 3 cards is, here we go. You get the 3 card set for, it's on sale right. Oh, that's because of my promo code. I clicked my link. You see that? So it's normally $69, but it's $62.92, and that is exclusive to the Impact Money community. So you use Impact Money and you get that, or you can get the 2 card set. I went ahead and did the 3 card set, and you can pay with crypto or PayPal or however you want to pay it. But then I have 3 cards that I can put in different places. I can put one in the safe. I can put one in the safety deposit box, and I keep one in my wallet if I want. And they are adding as well a Visa card, which is pretty interesting. Now, if you're talking about anyway, I won't go into all that at the moment. So that is cool and a great way to store your crypto. Dalgo. The Dalgo. I'm pretty excited about the Dalgo. I'm going to definitely get myself some meme coins. Don't tell my wife. I don't tell my wife hardly anything anyway, so it's okay. Now, one thing I really wanted to talk about today, and it's in the title, and that is the DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. This craziness that we talk about. Is that, well, first of all, is that one of the reasons why Trump almost got taken out? I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen some of these photos. I mean, it's just like, it is astonishing. Now, if I'm at a place and I need to be protected, what do I want? I want the big 400-pound dude. I want the 350, 400-pound dudes around me. That's what I want. I want some joker that's 7 foot tall and bulletproof. Okay, that's what I want. I mean, let's not. It's kind of like, I think that well, first of all, it's all baloney anyway. If these people actually believed in diversity, equity, and inclusion, then the NBA would look totally different. Okay, but it doesn't. The NBA looks like it looks. Why? Because everyone that's who plays the best ball, right? I mean, actually, the truth is there is a lot of politics in professional sports as well, but and then you look at the so it's all baloney anyway. But just like you wouldn't want to have a 5'2" or 5'4" or 5'6" or 5'8" woman playing against 7-foot men on the basketball team. Well, I mean, I don't think I'm going to get in trouble here for saying that you probably don't want those people on your security detail either. And when it comes to situations that are life and death, guys, this is something that we really need to consider here. Trump Secret Service. So, and it actually has gone, I mean, it's all the way to the top. It's all the way to the top. You even have a DEA hire. It appears like, I mean, this is like, exactly. No, of course, Jake here. He's a firebrand, so I gotta kind of okay. So this is exactly why women should not be police, military, or Secret Service. Her one job was to jump in front and take a bullet for Trump, but instead she cowered behind him. I don't even blame the girl. I blame the ones who hired her. Actually, it's a really good point. I don't blame her either, guys. It's just like wanting her to play basketball with the big dudes. I mean, can we just like stop this with this madness? Like, why should we put our beautiful women in the spot where they have to jump in front of the old guy to stop the bullet? They shouldn't be doing that. Let them do other stuff. They're very good at other stuff. Jumping in front of a bullet is where you want the 400-pound, 7-foot dude. Okay. Here she is. I mean, this was really hilarious. This one in particular, I mean, she's like meme famous now. Let's see what the
former president.
So the buck stops with you?
Okay, hold on.
The buck stops with me. I am the director of the Secret Service. It was unacceptable, and it's something that shouldn't happen again.
The president and Homeland Security Secretary said today they had 100% confidence in you, but there are some members of Congress calling on you to resign.
I appreciate the Secretary's comments, and we're going to continue to be transparent and communicate with people.
Do you plan to stay on? Absolutely.
I do plan to stay on.
Who is most responsible for this happening?
What I would say is that the Secret Service.
I mean, I remember a day when you would be embarrassed and just step down. I mean, I remember a day. So this one in particular, the one on the left, she's really meme famous. That was the one you saw cowering behind. But I mean, let's be realistic, guys. I mean, never mind that you want somebody, especially to protect someone like Trump. But I wouldn't even want those women on my security detail. Now, granted, I mean, if I needed security and they were the only ones around, I'm not saying I would turn them down. But if we have a choice in something like securing the former president, or even if securing myself, I want the 7-foot guy that's 350 pounds. I mean, this just makes sense. It's more body mass. You can cover more things. I don't think that we should be. Well, first of all, I didn't even. And how about how they like just hijacked equity? All right, so this is pretty funny here. This one, she's like messing with her. She can't even holster the thing. She can't. I mean, I'm laughing. Luckily, he survived. Thank God. But I mean, she couldn't even holster the. She didn't even holster her firearm. There was also a transcript of what was going on as the shots were coming in and everything. And she was like, what do we do? What do we do? Where do we go? I mean, nobody I know would ever hire. That's what I'm talking about. But Secret Service, I have so many questions. That's the great James O'Keefe. I mean, what are we doing, guys? What are we doing? What are we doing? Secret Service, DEA hires, fired. They need to be fired. That's really the thing. Now, there is an interesting connection here. Now, I'll probably get YouTube mad at me now. They probably won't play this video either after. I'll probably review it. So, Bruce, you can't play this stuff. So I put out a post and I talked about it, the fact her connections to Cheney's. And this is fairly interesting. Hold on, I must have messed something up here. Here we go. More information about the Secret Service director. Her name is Kim Cheadle, who was close ties to the Cheneys, the Bidens, and is responsible for the J6 deleted text scandal. After the attempted assassination, do you think she should be allowed anywhere near President Trump, is what I said. Let's see.
She would know. The 28-year veteran was on the team that evacuated Vice President Dick Cheney on 9/11, and she served on then Vice President Biden's protective detail. He named her director in mid-2022. Amid a swirl of controversy over the agency deleting nearly all of its text messages from January 6th. The agency says that was due to a data migration.
System migrations happen, but I think for a lot of Americans, it just doesn't pass the smell test given the timing and the volume of messages deleted.
Well, it's unfortunate that that would be the assumption that people would make. Our integrity is everything, and there was nothing nefarious attached to that.
Their integrity has, she would know.
I mean, you know, this is like, it's worse than embarrassing, guys. I mean, that's the Secret Service. It brings so many questions up. And then you guys know me. I'm as easy as the next guy. I believe that everybody deserves same shots at life. We all deserve to have a family. We all deserve prosperity. We all deserve freedom. I'm easy. But I think that I know that we just have to be, especially as we come into this point in history, we have to be honest with ourselves. And this woman is an obvious. I mean, I can remember a day when people would have some honor and step down after something like that. It was actually came out yesterday or last night, and I haven't read the reports, so I won't go into them at the moment. But they had snipers in the building below the kid that took the shots, and of course, the Secret Service is blaming the local law enforcement. If you're the Secret Service, like you just said, the buck stops with you. You didn't even blame the local law enforcement. They're looking at you. I mean, what a joke, you know. It's a joke. So she's got to go. Hopefully Trump fires her. hopefully Trump fires a lot of people. I mean, fingers crossed that we actually get something done. Of course, it would be poetic, I guess you would say justice. I'm not sure. But that Trump gets in and really we're unable to accomplish anything. Pretty high likelihood, actually, that it happens. I mean, I think the markets will still go like gangbusters. We might have a pullback because of how much they fluffed everything up. But who knows? But if we're not able to take care of things like that, that's rough, right? That's rough. But we'll see. It's Trump Vance for the win. It is hard to see, even with my liberal friends. And I have a lot of liberal friends, surprisingly. I live in an area. Do you know the area that I live in is like, I mean, anyway, people around here, a lot of Democrats, government people. It's just like anybody else. They want to protect their jobs, right? They want to protect their jobs. Same way, friends, lots of people in the forces and former people that were in the FBI and the CIA and all these places. I know they watch my show sometimes. And I get it, kinda. I mean, I know you got your retirement and everything else. I think you'll still get your retirement if we shut down the Fed, if we shut down the FBI, which we have to do. We have to do it. You guys know that. My friends, you know that. Can't continue like this. Look at what just happened. That was how could that have been anything but somewhat of an inside job? I mean, how did the guy was the ladder there? We'll never know. They're never going to tell us. Was the ladder there? How did the kid get a rifle in? Where'd the rifle come from? I mean, you have to go through security. Have you ever been to a Trump rally? You got to go through security. I mean, we're talking about a rifle. I was initially thinking it was like a 45 or something. I thought, well, all right, freaking about a rifle. And then to just let him take the shot. Unbelievable. Really. It goes beyond the pale, folks. It is beyond the pale. Now, one thing about Trump is that he's now full crypto, right? Trump's full crypto, and Bitcoin 2024 is gonna be popping here. Here's that. There it is. Witness history. There it is, right there. Now, one of the first things actually that Trump did after he got over the assassination attempt was call for RFK Jr. to have a Secret Service security detail. Of course, people were like, oh my gosh, it's going to happen. It would be a heck of a ticket, those two. But it is not in the cards this time, of course. Headliners for Bitcoin 2024. Of course, the big guy there is going to be Donald Trump. Donald Trump, the great Donald Trump. Bitcoin 2024 use impact money to get on there. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is speaking there, as well as Kathy Woods, Michael Saylor, the great Michael Saylor, Russell Brand. I'll tell you what, this guy, Firehouse Brand, he has really done a good job with himself. He's a famous guy anyway. Edward Snowden speaking, of course, remotely. Bill Miller, and there's a lot more. I could click view all here, I guess. You have the headliners. Vivek, Senator Bill Haggerty. I mean, crypto is mainstream, guys. I'll tell you what, Marsha Blackburn, Bo Ro-Khanna, Casey Rodarmore, and it just goes on and on and on. The list here. It is certainly interesting to watch things like this because I've been going around preaching it for a long time, and there is really nothing not much better than being right, you know. So Coin Vigilante, one of the sponsors of our show here, Coin Vigilante watches. These guys do an amazing job. If you are Coin Vigilante, this is what I wear. I wear a Coin Vigilante watch. They do custom watches as well. Coin Vigilante. Use code Impact Money, get a 10% discount over there. Coinvigilante.com is the website. Beautiful timepieces, American made. This is an America First company. It's a young guy that started this. He's all in. And they've done a wonderful job here. This is the Bitcoin edition. This is the one that I have right here. They have a ladies version as well. And you can see how well this is made. Coin Vigilante edition. Vigilante Watches is the mother company. You can also have them design your own branded watch. Make sure to use the code Impact Money over there. Support the people that support us. Put us on the show. Bitcoin Watch is extremely limited edition. They did sell out of. They had the one that they sold out of. Here's the ladies edition right here. So they had the edition that our story, founded in 2021, Coin Vigilante brand originated from the idea of creating high quality watches inspired by Bitcoin, designed in the US, worn in over 30 countries. Our goal is to craft unique timepieces that signify the importance of sound money for those who wear them. A movement that shows the world what we stand for. Our journey became a reality after launching a successful Kickstarter campaign where we raised 6 figures from backers across the world who believe in the movement. There you go. It's a beautiful timepiece there. Now, of course, my friend, the great Bitcoin Ben, is behind this as well. Bitcoin Ben, you guys probably know him. My man, Bitcoin Ben. Bitcoin Ben. I should invite Bitcoin on the show. Bitcoin Ben on the show. It's very early, and I know he does the show all the time, but I do owe him a call. I'm going to call him today. Get him on the show. Bitcoin Ben, my man. As well, I will try and get these candidates for you. We have a couple of America First candidates that we want to bring on from our good friends over here at Patriots United, patriotsunited.us. I'm running that there below the thing, below my thing here. The central bank is talking rate cuts, and that is making the markets respond. If rates go down, and the DXY is that is the U.S. currency measured against a basket of other world currencies. And some other things. But basically, it's just easier to say that. Now, you can see here on the 5-day, we've had this movement down as the risk assets have pushed up. It's kind of hanging out here. It's kind of hanging out here now, as you can see. And risk assets have moved up, although, let me just see here what we're looking at. Yeah, still moving up. We had a little bit of pullback overnight, just enough to liquidate some people. So this is the U.S. dollar index. We look at this U.S. dollar index a lot. As Matt said, sometimes it lags. Sometimes it's like immediate. We can look at the 3 months. So this is the 3 month here, right? So we're down and then we pushed up as we've had this pullback in the markets the dollar is strengthened, and then now we're on our way down. So dollar strengthens in value, risk assets go down because there's people are trading, they're trading that as well, right? So if there's less dollars, basically to make it easier for everybody, if there's less dollars out there, then dollars are more scarce, they're worth more, and risk assets are then, they cost more dollars. If there's more dollars out there, inflation is high, then risk assets are more expensive. They want more dollars for that. And so the Fed, and it's one of the things I talk about, the U.S. Central Bank, the Federal Reserve, which we should end immediately. We should end them immediately. But, and that's why I have my friend up here, Thomas Massey. I say my friend. He's a great guy. I want to be friends. Actually, I want to go stop by and see his office. If you guys want to talk to me, this is my Calendly, calendly.com/impact money. You can talk to me there. Set an appointment and we can talk. And the Fed. So the Rothschilds taxes inflation. And that DXY, that US dollar index that I just had up, it is directly affected by these guys. There's 11 families right here that own the majority of the Federal Reserve in the U.S. And I know it's held by this bank or that bank or everything else, but that's how you do it, okay? And they tax us through inflation. That's the way it works. And that's why when they confiscated everybody's gold in 1933, the fine was $10,000 if you didn't turn in your gold. So it's $10,000 if you didn't turn in your gold, which is the equivalent of $1 million now. And so that's how much they taxed the US dollar, since then, since 1933. Federal Reserve started in 1913 through the Federal Reserve Act. Woodrow Wilson sold us out. Later said, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Well, too late, buddy. They built a bridge after him over here in DC area. But the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Morgans, the Warburgs, Goldman Sachs, Lehman, Kuhn Loeb, Lazard, Israel Moses Schiff, and Stillman are the families who own the Federal Reserve. And they basically own your country as well. This guy right here told us that every congressional person has a AIPAC person that they basically answer to. They have a handler, an AIPAC handler. Okay. That's what he told us. We need to end the Fed. We need to end the Fed, and we need to take control back. And that's part of what that is the monetary revolution. Actually, that is the monetary revolution, taking the power back from these people. Would you buy Bitcoin? I know a lot of you guys haven't bought Bitcoin yet. That's kind of one of the reasons why I bring up Polka Gold all the time. I think it's an easy one to start with. Would you buy Bitcoin if these families just could mint however much they wanted to of it? However much they wanted. Whenever they wanted to pay for war, whenever they wanted to pay for, whatever government thing that you don't support, abortion, whatever, whenever they wanted to pay for that. So that's the way it works. So whenever it's like, okay, the government says, okay, we're going to pay for abortions, this and that and the other, they tell the Federal Reserve, okay, mint us the money for this. And the Federal Reserve says, okay, no problem. We're going to charge you, I think the interest rate right now is 5%. It's actually very hard to tell how much they're going to charge, though. So here's $1 billion. Whatever. And then that's just, but it's not even, it's just paper. It's just paper money. They don't even really have it. They just front it. It's like a big scam. And then they take it from us via inflation. And then they tax us anyway. It's a big problem. It's a big problem. Would you buy Bitcoin? Let me say that again. Would you buy Bitcoin if these families could mint up however much they wanted? However much they wanted. Would you buy Bitcoin? No. Of course not. If these families that you never met in your whole life, who have taxed through inflation U.S. citizens basically into extinction because our population collapse is happening because people don't think they have enough money to have a family, get married, and have kids. So if these families were able to mint up Bitcoins however much they wanted, there's like 20 million Bitcoins out there or whatever right now, right? Approximately. And if they were able to just mint up another 20 million, would you buy Bitcoin? No. No, you wouldn't. I can tell you right now. You wouldn't buy Bitcoin. If these families could just mint it whenever they wanted, you wouldn't buy Bitcoin. Let's talk about gold. Maybe you wouldn't buy Bitcoin anyway. Would you buy gold if these families could just make gold in their microwave or whatever? If they had, and they could just make as much gold as they wanted. So you would buy gold, and it's $2,400 or whatever it is right now, and then they would just mint more tons of it, and then tomorrow it would only be worth $1,400. Would you buy gold then? No, you wouldn't. When you hold dollars, that's what's happening. Now we're on this system. We got sold out a long time ago. So even when you work for dollars. Not financial advice and all that jazz. But you probably should turn some of those dollars into sound money, into some things that they can't do that with, whether it's crypto or whether it's gold or silver. Of course, you can go over to @costmetals.com and use referral code clubs. I need to update that to impact money, don't I? Clubs, and you can start buying gold, silver, palladium, platinum at cost metals if crypto isn't your thing. But I think crypto is pretty mainstream now. Anyhow, it has been another wonderful show, guys. It has been another wonderful show. We really enjoy it. Hats off to my main man, Fly Mackey, the visionary, who has put this all together. We have big deal. And we will be in tens of millions more homes very, very soon. So that is exciting. And I got to put my logo back up here. I didn't notice that wasn't there. Oops, wrong one. It's this one. I forgot it. That was an accident. Okay, my friends. I am out of here. I will be back on your TV in a few hours. Cheers.
Your voice is powerful. When combined with social engagement, it's a force for change. Decentralized media paired with free speech is the catalyst for an empowered world and a unified, invaluable ecosystem. Join Global Boost, become a champion of free speech, and help to reshape the future of media.